Welcome to Little Town Big Queeries, where the gossip's usually the queers are loud and the closet is long gone. And our query for today is coming out. I'm really giving Bobby Sands vibes today.
Icon, legend. My mom was at his funeral.
Really?
My granddad took my mom and her brothers and sisters to all of the hunger striker funerals.
That's amazing.
Do you think there was food at the wake, or was that a wee bit insensitive?
Probably
Do you know what
sandwiches.
I mean? We're Little Town Big Queries, and this is our first episode. We're going to be talking about coming out and different aspects of what that means for all of us. I'm Leah.
I'm Judith.
I'm Amber.
I'm Leah.
I'm Billie, and we have the referee.
I'm Ref.
We've a ref on the side who's going to call out all our little inconveniences, all our bullshit.
What's our purpose? What's the whole point of this?
Just kind
Well,
of.
you're probably better telling them the point of the
I'm
podcast.
too nervous thinking about the technical aspects, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to say now.
Yeah.
I suppose it's like the only, well, I don't want to say the only, but there is not really queer podcast this side of the island of Ireland anyway. It's all kind of Belfast based, all kind of like male dominated, so I thought, why not? Give it a shot. In County Fermanagh. Why not?
We're looking to create a space for like young people and women especially who don't really have a queer space of representation at home, or even in the media. It's really hard to find like Irish representation in the media when it comes to being queer and being young. So I thought this is like a really good space that we can do it. We can talk about our experiences of growing up in a small town, what being queer was like, exploring our sexualities and ourselves through that. It's also just going to be a laugh as well. Like it's we're trying to have a bit of fun. We're not very serious people.
Yeah, it's more or less just normalising the conversation about all that jazz.
Yeah. So since this is the first episode, who wants to tell us the first time they came out to themselves?
Oh.
That's a good question.
Anybody?
Good
I
time.
never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I definitely was when I was away from home.
Yeah.
Like, when I lived in England, I kind of explored it a bit more. And kind of came out to myself there, but no one else. And then I think it wasn't until I was probably friends with you,
Yeah.
and like I found other lesbians, bisexuals, that I very much confirmed it. And,
I seem to have
was
that effect
very
on women
much-
anyway. So.
Oh, sweaty
open.
that. The
So
waiting for
that's-
that.
So I feel like I never really questioned it because I was around like so many people that were
Yeah.
like open to the idea of it and stuff. So like it never even was like, oh my god, am I this? It was just like, I just felt I was like, okay, if I like this person, I like this person, if I like this person, I like this
Yeah.
person. Like I never really had a big thing in my head, or like oh my god, what if I'm this? Like it just,
Yeah, it was never a fear.
it was just,
It is what it
it's
is.
okay, whatever it is,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
never felt like I questioned it.
You were kind of the same in that way. You had a lot of friends that were
Yeah,
queer.
yeah. I did actually. All my like friendship group had all come out as gay, and then I think whenever I realised, I was like, I can't tell them. I was like, I was so nervous. I don't know why, but I was like, I can't tell them. I was like, this is. I think it was more because I felt like I was jumping on the bandwagon, but half of them were friggin' straight now, you know.
Jumping
like,
on each other
so-
anyway.
Literally,
Yeah.
I was one of those groups. When I like figured it out myself, but whenever I did, I was like, fuck, everything makes sense now, you know. Like,
What age are you?
I think I was about 15 when I actually clicked on. Yeah, but that was because like I was chatting to some girl, and then I was like, this is weird. Like I don't know, this is strange.
I was like 11, I think.
Oh really?
All the girls in my class liked boys, and I was like, they're gross. Like they smell bad, and they've like wet hair, and they're just like gross. I don't know. And then I was like having best friends and stuff, and slowly realised you're not meant to feel that way about your best friends.
Yeah.
I was
So-
jealous of the boys in terms of like I wanted girls to hold my hand.
Yeah.
I wanted them to hug me. I wanted to get married to someone on the steps. But no one wanted to marry. Definitely wasn't a boy. And then yeah, it was never like a struggle in my mind. I was quite lucky that way. Yeah, I was just like, it was never a struggle for me. I was really lucky. It was always just a fact for me.
Yeah.
I never was worried about being normal. I was a bit wonky anyway.
Yeah.
I was never gonna come out very normal anyway. Did you have like a would you like to tell your story actually of your first time?
No, it was when I was like stupid young. It was like primary school when I still lived here, so I would have been like 6 or 7. There was this girl, we used to like sneak kisses in like the cloak closet, and to me it was like not an issue. It just went over my head. And there was this girl that I still know of today, and I think like you would know of her. She came up to me and she was like, "You're a dirty wee lesbian." And I was like, "The fuck's a lesbian?" I was so confused that it was a wrong thing. And then obviously when I got older, you start to like learn about it more, and it's like, oh, a bit of a taboo and shit. And then I just totally moved like countries anyway, so that was like
player from day one, Billy. Good for you, kissing girls in wardrobes. So jealous.
Had to lure them in somewhere. The invitation, you know.
I'll make you laugh.
Bring them into the closet.
So I was just that creep that was like trying not to look in the changing rooms.
Oh.
And that's where in my head I was like, is this normal?
Yeah.
I was like straight, but I saw a girl in a bra. I was like, oh my god, like panic station.
That's so
Me
funny.
and my friends used to go down to the showers to get changed because we were like too uncomfortable in the changing room with everyone.
Yeah, that's why.
Fancy in everyone.
Exactly.
Perverts.
Well, that's a good segue. When did you come out to other people? Who was the first person you kind of like came out to, apart from yourself?
The girl I was speaking to, it was her best friend actually. The girl was on holiday, and I don't think she wasn't sure if she was even out at that point. You know, she wasn't like, we both weren't sure. And yeah, she was on holiday in Thailand, and I went out with her friend into town, and we were walking around, and she was like, "I think Annie's likes you," and I was like, "Oh,
Do you want to say her name?
I don't care. I really don't care." But she was like, "I think she likes you," and I was like, "What?" And then yeah, it was just very weird, and I was like, I don't know if I like her, and I was like, I kind of knew in my own head that I did, but I didn't want to say it out loud. You know what I mean? So it was very strange, but yeah, I wasn't expecting her to be the first person. Like, I hardly even knew the girl, you know, like,
I think
it was
that's
very
the
weird.
thing, you do that, like, if you don't know it, it's like,
Yeah.
what can they do with this?
Yeah,
So,
true.
like, it's almost easier in a way.
yeah. Well, she did know all my friends, to be fair, but I don't know if she told them. But I remember coming into school after the weekend, and I stayed at her house whenever we figured it out anyway. And I had a big hickey on my neck.
Figured it out. That's
Oh.
crazy.
I was like, well,
One way to figure it.
we've done it. We solved the case.
what
Went
that
to
is.
school and I had a fucking hickey on my neck, and all of my friends were like, "That was from her," and I was like, "No, it was a boy. I swear it was a boy." I was like, I don't know why I was so scared. Like, I was just nervous, but yeah, whenever everyone found out, we were like, Amber, we know who used to go around walking in your United top, trackies, hair slicked back, always playing football with the lads. Like, it wasn't a surprise.
Hair slicked back like back.
Still to this day, like.
That's so funny. Mine was in a changing room. Speaking of being nervous in a changing room.
So nice,
My worst fear. One of the girls, me and a girl that I was like seeing, my first girlfriend kind of, we were a bit too close maybe in school, and everyone kind of clocked on because it was an all girls school, and one of the girls that was in my class turned around and was like, "Are you two together?" Or I think she was like, "Are you lesbians or what?" And I was like, "Yeah." Everyone else was half naked, and I was like, "Oh god."
It's horrible.
Oh, it was awful. Like, I get changed in the corner already, and you're gonna make me come out as a lesbian.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny. I didn't really care at that point, to be fair. It was grand.
Did they all kind of say, like,
Oh yeah, they
Oh,
knew.
fair.
Yeah, they knew.
Yeah,
yeah,
come
yeah.
on now, just tell us, we know.
Yeah. She's have sleepovers a lot.
I think there was, like, my friend I was close with in Birmingham, it kind of, like, guessed for me, but I'd been, again, like, exploring it, and I remember, like, we got really drunk, and she was like, "If you just want to, like, come out, that's fine, like, I'm totally all ears." So I
Yeah.
just kind of was like, I do think I'm bi.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and then I got really drunk and I was like, I definitely am. I was sleeping with her. So,
Yeah.
Confirmed.
She was like, "You can go, just tell me. Just say the word."
Yeah.
We're all from small towns. We're all from Enniskillen, and then you're from Morecambe.
Cannoli.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I meant. That's not really anywhere, really. But do you think being from small places influenced your how you felt about your own sexuality?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Just for me more so, and I don't know. I haven't come out to my parents yet. I probably never will. But I definitely think it's just that small town mindset. Even sometimes my boyfriend, like I do have a boyfriend, he could be not ignorant, but it confuses him.
Yeah.
And I think it's not talked about a lot, and that's why I'm like, I can't be arsed starting this conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think it definitely like affected my mindset.
See, I'd have a different opinion, but then I think it's because my parents lived in America for like 20 years. And that would have like opened their mind up to like a lot of different stuff. So we were always kind of brought up like, it's okay whatever you are. And then I think there was a switch, like, you know, your parents would joke and be like, oh, any boyfriends and stuff. But there was a noticeable switch at like one point whenever I'd like shaved off all my hair and only wore sports bras and stuff, where the question would be like,
Are you gay?
do you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? That's okay. So it was like, it was never a doubt in my mind whether it was okay or not okay.
Yeah.
Like I always just felt like it doesn't matter. It's
absolutely.
fine.
Yeah, that's
Very
fair.
good.
Do you think it influenced you, Billie, at all?
It's hard to say because I've moved about a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'm from a small town, but then I went to the Isle of Man, which is like even
Smaller.
it was smaller, but it's like a lot more. I don't want to say it's a lot more backwards,
It's a
but
different
I
way.
did like moving there. It was like I didn't have like my sexuality to worry about. I had being Irish to worry about.
Oh,
Like,
really?
it was like fitting in that way, you know. So it was just like my sexuality in the Isle of Man was at the back of my head until I moved back here and slowly started. I don't know, getting knowledge about it, especially like what you just said, being friends with you. That's where I suppose it all came out, or at least
Girls,
come on.
That's so
Okay. Yeah, crazy.
Do you, like, has it ever kind of not made you doubt, because is it probably very like
It's just one of those, isn't it? Like small towns, you know, word gets around quick. But I don't know.
I was always kind of a confident little fuck about it. I didn't really ever care about people's opinions. And I never really got any backlash for it, or maybe I was too stupid to like recognise that I got backlash. I was like, woo! I was in my own little world. But I think the only stigma that I ever experienced was being in a relationship with a girl. That's when I would get the looks and the comments and stuff, but that didn't really bother me either.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it that much. I didn't really care about where it was from. It was just like, yeah, it didn't bother me as much because I never cared about people's opinions of it.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's right about it.
So I'm kind of under the impression that like it doesn't matter what you are,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be a big deal what you are. You should just be able to be like, I'm this, and it shouldn't even be anything. Like, okay, fine, whatever,
Yeah,
you do,
yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
And I think to try get that into other people's mindset is you have to yourself treat it like that,
Yeah.
as if it's not anything big, because if you make a big deal out of it, other people are going to make a big deal
Yeah.
out of it. But if you're like, this is fine,
Yeah.
then
It's
that
just
will
one
get that
thing.
into other people's heads, that it's like, it's okay, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's the same as being straight.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It is just one part of you.
yeah.
I was gonna say, the amount of times they've all said that does not define me.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so many other things than like lesbian or bisexual or something. So.
Yeah. Yeah, my biggest pet peeve whenever I first came out was people introducing me as their lesbian friend.
Yeah.
I hated
Yeah.
it. It was like, come on now. Like,
It's like a
Absolutely.
pet almost.
yeah, like, this little lesbian I keep in my
It's like
purse.
you're checking off a card.
Yeah.
I've got a lesbian, a gay.
Yeah.
Here's one I made earlier. Like, Christ. It was so annoying.
Yeah.
It was like, there's so much more to me than that. And I think you have to be like that about yourself. And I think that's why I was always cocky about it. Because it was so small to me. It was never like a big thing. It was never a big worry in my mind. I knew I liked girls. So I never really cared what other people thought of that. Who doesn't like women? You know? They're fit.
The ref.
Been mad.
The red card.
Yeah. Sorry. What was the easiest part about discovering your sexuality? As in, what did you care about the least? Was it coming out to yourself, or like having to like actually go up and talk to women? Or was it like telling your parents? Was that easy? Telling your friends? Relationships? Like, what was really easy to you? What did you not worry about? I didn't worry about telling my parents because I knew they'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was nervous, but I wasn't. I knew they'd be grand with it.
You
Like,
just thought you were pregnant.
yeah, no, honestly. Yeah, I think it was just the way I approached my mum. She was like, what, you know, and then I told her and she was just like, oh. Like, I remember she was watching TV and my ex had actually just stayed at the house for 2 weeks because she was living in Cheltenham at the time. And, yeah, she'd left and I was like, Mum, I've got something to tell you. And she was like, what? And she was like, do I need to pause my show? And I was like, yeah, please pause your show. And she was like, right, okay. And she was like, what? And then, it was some like NCIS or something like that. She loves those shows, like, you know. And she was like, right, paused it. And she was like, what? And I was like, sat there for a few seconds. I was like, and she was like, what, Amber? And I was like, right, you know, and I was like, you know, my ex, she just left. And she was like, yeah. She was like, I was like, we're in a relationship. And she was like, right. And I was like, yeah. She was like, right. And I was like, I just thought I'd tell you. And she was like, can I watch my show now? And I was like, yeah, of course you can. And she was like, I don't care, Amber. You can. You was like, you can be with whoever you like, you know. And I was like, right, okay, thank you. And she was like,
I think that's how the reaction should be.
Yeah. She was shitting herself.
Well, to be fair, Amber was probably wearing a full Man United kit at the time.
Yeah, absolutely, like 100%.
Was that easy for you?
No, I was just like, I remember just being like, oh, and she was like, why are you telling me now? And I was like, I don't know, I just guess I grew a pair of balls. And she was like, right, okay. I think it took me, I'd say we're maybe together for about a month or two before I got the courage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like all my friends, like I said, they were all like, you're with her, and I was like, no, I'm not. And they were like, Amber, we know. I was like, right, okay, fine, you got me, it's true.
Yeah, the easiest part for me was telling people. The hard part was like talking to women. That was the hard part.
Yeah.
Really?
In fairness, when I first started, I was drunk a lot of the time, so it was drunk courage, but I love flirting with women.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We know. We're well aware.
Very aware.
It was like, oh fuck, like I actually like have to kind of deal with maybe this is like
a sober thing.
Yeah, and I could easily be with a woman, and I was like, oh shit. So I think it was like actually accepting it was the hardest, but going and fucking with girls is really
happy days. I'm good at this part.
That's so funny.
I think people were more shocked that I liked men.
Yeah, fair enough.
To this
the
day.
woman part was like, no one questioned that for 1 second.
No.
Because of how I used to act and look. Whenever I'd be with a man, they'd be like, where did this come from?
It's always a man that like you're always with the kind of men that will do anything for you and you don't give them a second thought. It's the
It's the way to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, literally. Like, oh, it's so funny. Bless you.
I'm happy.
Easiest would have been like coming out to all friends. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like I had to at all.
Yeah.
Hardest the time he's all just gayest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the hardest would have been like family.
Mm.
But like I made it sure, like I have such a big family. Immediate family is more important, and the rest of them, I don't think I'd ever have that, conversation.
Yeah.
But like it took like a good space of maybe 3 to 4 years coming out to each of them individually,
Oh wow.
because like we don't live together.
Yeah.
So like either my 2 brothers, one of them would be living in Spain at one point, and the other would be living out of town. My mom's up in Derry, so like everyone's all over the show.
Yeah.
So I had to like come out with them to them in like different stages.
Oh wow.
So that was difficult. Some were easier than
Yes,
others.
Ref?
Yes, Ref?
Do you believe you have to come out?
No.
No,
No.
no,
Not at
definitely
all.
not.
No.
It was, in my case, it was just to get them on the same page.
Yeah.
Because they'd make remarks, either it'd be bad or good remarks, and it's like on the tip of my tongue that I just want them to know, like, fuck, I'm a part of that community too. But yeah, you don't have to.
I don't think you have to.
Again, it's like my cousins. Like I would never sit down with a cousin and be like, oh, by the way, and
Yeah.
this and that.
Yeah.
If it came up in conversation, I'd be like, yeah. That's it. Like it doesn't need a whole like speech or anything.
Yeah.
Aye.
But with
I think it's almost better if you don't,
Yeah,
because it
same.
normalizes it
yeah,
a lot
exactly,
more.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think I will ever come out to my parents.
Mm.
I've come out to my brothers and sisters, and like even just really casually dropped it. But like with mum and dad, I think it's more so I don't want to it's like confusing to them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like
Yeah.
I kind of think I don't know if they'd accept it, which would be really, really hard for me.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so
Fair
I
enough.
think like just because I have a boyfriend now, they'd be like, "What are you on about? No, you're
Yeah.
not."
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
thing, and I'm
Yeah.
just kind of like,
Very confusing.
You're like, watch this.
If they asked, I'd say, but yeah, I don't think they've ever engaged at all.
I think it's definitely a generational thing.
Oh,
100%.
definitely.
I don't
yeah.
think the generation below us will ever have to come out.
No.
Well, maybe
No.
that's just
Hopefully.
a stigma, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think sexuality with them is very fluid.
Oh,
I think that's a great way to be.
Yeah.
as well.
And it's so nice to see
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
that it is becoming like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Coming out to my brothers versus coming out to my like mom, big difference. Like,
Really?
because my brothers were like, "Oh, that's fine." My brother Jordan was like, "Oh, I'd rather you come and tell me this than come crying to me that someone got you pregnant."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and I was like, "Fucking fair dues, bro."
Yeah.
But like I told him over a game of Fortnite, like it was so relaxed, like you could have that conversation with them in that stupid moment.
Yeah.
But then with my mom, it was like a pure toxic argument, and
Really?
just to like give a tip, everyone at home, make sure you're not drunk.
Yeah.
You're like, come out. If you're intoxicated, probably not the best move.
Make sure they're not drunk as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
true. But you know what? I think it's all right. We haven't really talked about it since, but it's kind of our family don't speak at all about stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we kind of leave it there to like simmer, and then like we started talking again, and there'll be like little bits. We'll have like conversations, and I can get like a little glimmer that like she's acceptance of
Yeah.
it. I don't know, like. Amelia, a friend, came over to my fat to use the toilet one day, and me and her, just totally platonic, we're really good friends. And she was like, "Oh, I really want to meet your mom. I'm really good with parents. She's really up herself, like." And I was like, "Yeah, fair enough. Come on up." And then she said hello and all, and then I gave her a hug goodbye, and then my mom just goes, "She's a really lovely girl."
Aw.
And I was just like, "Yeah. Why the fuck did she say that?" It didn't take me like 5 minutes to be like, "Oh, that was actually really nice of her to say that." But
Yeah.
it was just like we can never sit there and talk. You'd get little moments like that where like everything's okay.
It's the Irish way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff it down.
Yeah. Let's not talk about this until some boils over a little bit.
Yeah. Before I go postal.
It is
See,
the Irish
with
way.
me, I'm like, everyone knew it. Like it wasn't a question, and then like I didn't feel like I had to say it because it wasn't a question because everyone just knew. Probably before I knew, but then before I moved to Manchester, we had like went out. My brother was playing in town, so he was driving, and then whenever we got back to the house, my mom was like to my brothers, "Get out of the car," and then it was me and her, and she locked me in the car.
No way.
And she was like, "Are you gay? Are you straight? Are you bisexual?" She was like, "Just tell me
I just
right
wanna know."
now." She was like, "Just tell me which it is. I don't care. Just tell me what it is." And I was like,
Is she still driving, by the way?
and I was like, "I don't know. I think I like both. I'm not really sure." And she was like, "Okay, I just needed to know that before you moved away."
Oh,
Aw,
Did you have any like good representation before coming out?
What do you mean?
Like, did you ever see any like girls kiss within the media or whatever, and be
No.
like, "Oh, I want to do that too"?
Orange is the new black.
Really, you were
Yeah.
old. Oh no, you weren't actually. Yeah, you were about
That
50.
was such a
15.
good show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair.
but other than that, oh no, well, Rose and Rosie as well, the way YouTubers.
Yeah, is
I
right.
used to watch them. I love them.
Yeah.
And I still didn't realize. I was like watching them, thinking these are great, and I never once thought, oh, maybe I'm like these, you know. I was like, wow, but I would kind of be like, I wish I had their life, you know. I'm like,
Yeah. Bless you. You're not getting it. Go on. It's expensive. Babies and weddings are too much. Dream on. Did you have any representation?
I could give you a baby.
No, thank you.
Yeah, if I ever accidentally get pregnant, it's yours. I don't want to.
Don't you worry.
Oh yeah, and by the way, me and Leah are in a relationship. If you
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
know, I forgot to mention
Don't
that.
tell. You're scaring the hoes here.
For how many years? 8?
Nearly 8. Yeah.
And me and
In
Judith
August,
are going to give you
actually.
babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lizard friends.
We've already got these parts, guys. We need the other parts, like.
All our mistakes.
We've got half the equipment, like.
The ref can give us a turkey baster.
Yeah,
Blonde hair, blue eyes, by the way, gorgeous person. Shame they don't want to be on camera, but whatever.
Make me blush.
Speaking
Did
of,
you not watch Hollyoaks or anything like that?
No.
But there weren't
No.
that many lesbians. Or
No, there was gay men,
Yeah.
to be fair. But
Yeah.
yeah, no lesbians, actually.
I like documentaries.
No, I
Yeah, I
didn't.
just watched Time Team with my dad for most of my life.
Judith has a huge crush on. Oh wait, no, it's Kevin
No,
from
it's
Grand
Kevin
Designs.
Clive.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Oh, Gordon Ramsay.
wrong TV show.
What?
Really?
Don't have a crush on him, but I love the man.
Very worried.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
My
Grand
dad's
Design.
convinced I have a crush on him because I used to have Gordon Ramsay on like 10 hours out of the day.
I thought you were gonna say a poster for a second.
Yeah, to be fair.
On her
Convinced,
ceiling.
convinced
Why
I
is it
was in
sticking
love with him.
Yes.
I also, whenever I'd be at work and stuff, like I worked in the tea room in Florence Court for like, it's a good 6 years. So you go in, it's like the door, and then it's like round the corner before you get to the counter and stuff. I'd be stood at the till just staring, being like, Gordon's going to come.
If you could give like a coming out guide to someone that was asking you for one, like the younger generation, like a younger sibling, what would you put in that guide?
Treat it the same as you would treat anything else. Like, don't make it a big thing. Treat it like, if you were a girl and you started dating a girl, you should be able to tell people, and it should be no more different than if you
Yeah.
were saying you were dating a boy.
Yeah.
Don't give it like this huge thing when it shouldn't be a huge thing. It should just
Yeah.
be normal.
Like, don't panic over it.
Don't
Yeah.
stress over it. Don't panic over it. The people that love you are going to still love you,
Yeah,
and the people
definitely.
that are have an issue with it, that's not people you want in your life
Yeah.
anyway. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Or just make out that you're pregnant and then
Yeah.
ease the blow.
Use it in.
I'm gonna start using that for everything.
say you got someone else pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be impressive, to be fair.
I do remember when I was like 14, and like I obviously knew this stuff about me, but I would never like say it out loud.
Yeah.
But when I first moved over from the Isle of Man, I was like super depressed. But like you can never really talk about depression without feeling like you're seeking for attention.
Yeah.
So I never knew how
Yeah.
to like come out and say it. And I remember I sat down with my mom being like, "Oh mom, I have something to tell you, but I don't know how to say it." And then she goes, "What? Are you gay?" And I was like, "Oh shit, this isn't the conversation I wanted to have. I need to fast forward 10 years and we'll have it then." But,
Coming out to my parents, I did cry, but it wasn't because I was gay. It was because I loved like my best friend so much. I was so in love with her, and I didn't think she liked me back. But they thought I was crying because I was gay. Like her father was like, "It's fine." She was like, "Do you know how many lesbians are in my family?" And to be fair, there is a lot. It was like, "Don't worry about a kid," and I was like, "Okay, it's not about that. I just
Yeah.
really like a girl, and she doesn't like me back."
Oh,
But yeah,
it's gay.
not the conversation I was expecting to happen either. You know, very odd.
I think that's like, well, all the times that I came out to my family, it wasn't planned. It was just a little moment. I'm like, should I say it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my niece should just come up to me. That was another like very
Weird
confronting one. I've never actually spoken to her about it because I get the fear of like it's not my child. You know, I don't
How
know.
old?
She's 11 now, 12
Okay.
this year. But it's like you never know in case like my brother be's like, here, you shouldn't be speaking to her about that stuff. But there's been times she came up to me being like, "You're gay," and runs away just as like a wee insult. Like she's
Yeah.
funny as fuck, but I'm kind of like, should I have the talk with her now? Like what the fuck?
That was literally like Michael.
Yeah.
When Michael, my best friend in England, he always used to call me a lesbian and call me gay and all the rest of it, and I was always like, "No, I'm not, Michael, no, I'm not." And then one day he said it, and I was like, "Yeah, I am," and he was like, "What?" And I was like, I'm a lesbian. And he was like, "No, you're not." And I was like, "Yeah, I am." I was like, "I've got a girlfriend." And he was like, "No, you're not." And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And he was like, "Are you?" And he didn't believe me. He genuinely didn't believe me. I had to show him like a picture of us or something. And he was like, "Are you actually?" And I was like, "Yes, Michael." He was like, "Fuck, no way."
Turns out
He's
they
like,
both
"Told you."
were.
Yeah, and then he came
like-
out not long after.
Me and my younger brother used to do the same thing constantly. Like, we'd run up to each other and be like, "You're gay,"
Yeah.
and run off. And like, if we had an argument, the argument would always end in us just calling each other gay
Yeah.
back and forth. And then there was one day where he called me gay, and I was like, 50%, yeah, what you gonna do about it? And he was like, silenced him. And then a few years later, he was like, "You know, I think I'm bi as well." So now
Aw.
we still have the same arguments where we call each other
Yeah.
gay.
Always an awkward conversation. My little brother's 9, and it's never obviously been a conversation between us because I just don't think he needs one. He's always just seen like me with girls, So I don't know if he knows what that means or if he cares.
Yeah.
I just
If he's 9, I don't think he'd care.
No, he used to call me your sister.
yeah.
Or
that's
his
right.
sister,
Oh, wow.
like my sisters. And you'd be like, ah, yes.
Sisters don't do that.
Sisters.
He would tell people this in school, and me and Amber would come to collect him holding hands. And they were like,
It's a really close family.
They really love each other.
I agree, it haven't changed at all.
oh, they're from Killyara.
It's like Ryan at work, he always asks me, he's like, so who's the man and the woman in like your relationship? And I was like, I don't know, I was like, I feel like it's kind of split up.
Oh,
and
We do.
stuff.
We
Yeah.
change it
Is
up
that
a
a
bit.
thing?
No, it's
People
It's
like to
not.
say it when it's like, well, we're lesbians. We don't have men, but yeah, one of those.
But then I was like, Leah's the more like confrontational one and stuff.
Yeah.
And Ryan was like, that's just the Killy resilience.
Yeah. Literally, it's the ghetto in me. Yeah, it's more like who wears the pants. That's another question that I hate.
Yeah.
Who's the man? No,
We
I think
literally
both of
just
you
take
should
it
be
in
wearing
turns
pants,
anyway.
to be
Like,
honest.
Based on a straight
literally.
relationship, what the fuck does that actually
Yeah.
mean? Like, does it mean someone's in charge?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
then in all my
There you
relationships,
go.
I was definitely the man.
I would also be
Them
the
crying all
man.
the time. How do you think Irish culture influences the coming out experience? I don't know if we've
Oh.
done this. I know we did like small town, but like
Yeah.
being like Irish
Well,
culture.
like you said, for
Alcohol.
you. Well, yeah. But yeah, I think it's something that is like, oh, it's. I think whenever, like, Irish people don't really talk about big emotional things a lot of the time. So I think whenever there's like a sensitive topic like that, you have to be always eased into it.
Yeah.
And I think the culture around that, like, in terms of like me coming out, yeah, my grandparents especially, I was kind of easing them into it more so than like just saying it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about the culture here, but it's like sensitive topics like that. You don't really just come out and say it, and there's never really a time. People hate emotions here,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Because I
yeah.
was gonna say, like, Irish sense of humour. I think it's something you can't really be sensitive about because you'll get the piss taken out of you.
yeah,
Sometimes in an endearing way, but like even with my siblings, I do kind of get that. And it's something I just like take,
laugh off.
yeah, with a laugh because it's like out of a good place,
Yeah.
but it's not something you can like kind of be sensitive about.
Yeah, like I never came out to my younger cousins, but they will call me a fag out of love.
Yeah.
Do you know? So it's like, you know, you have to take it that way.
I feel like here you need to have a really thick skin.
Oh,
when
definitely.
you're wearing
Yeah,
it.
you do.
So
Yeah.
I think as well you have to get used to that. It's a small like circle or percentage, especially in this town of like gay people or openly gay people, and a lot of people know each other from that circle and all. So it's something you have to kind of get used to with that. You can't just like go out and meet loads of gay people. It's like, oh, that's like the 20 people I met the other night. Like,
I think with Irish people as well, I think you have to understand that if you're going to come out to one person, you're going to come out to 20.
yeah.
Because no one can hold their piss here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
So-
can't, no one can hold their tongue over here.
Oh,
It's like-
everyone knows everything about each other.
But that's
Leah P
even...
can't hold her piss.
You're
Your
lying.
cousin's secrets, retailing.
So I think in terms of like even being queer, everyone's gonna know eventually.
Yeah.
Like my whole family knew as soon as I told my parents. I think my father was Texan like a while ago. I was in bits and he was like, yeah.
So let me update the group chat.
I feel like my family started doing that because once I said to them one by one, there was one left that I was like really dreading to tell. But I have a feeling they're all like, you know, talking to each other behind closed doors
Oh,
about
yeah.
me. And it wasn't until that I was at my oldest brother's house, the one I was afraid of telling, and he was just laughing and giggling. We're chatting away, and then it just sprung up. He was like, "So what are you, Billy?" I was like, "Oh fuck, I haven't prepared for this at all." And I just said it to him, and he was fucking dead on. I was so afraid of him turning around and being like, "You can't see the kids" and all that, even though I know he wouldn't.
No.
But like my head just goes to the
Always.
fucking worst
Yeah.
scenario, and I was like, I can't have that. But
Pretty normal to have that in the back of your head,
oh
you know,
fuck
like
yeah,
always.
it would crush my soul because like, I
Yeah.
don't have any siblings, older siblings, but like it's nice having a wee younger sibling, you know.
Yeah.
Gives me some sort of meaning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. Yeah, yeah, it is nice. After like coming out to yourselves, did you ever question again if you were a different sexuality than what you've told yourself you were? Any like
I feel like it's pretty normal to come out as bisexual
yeah.
first.
Yeah.
you know, so it was always like, oh, I still like boys, but then you just get to the point where you're just like, yeah, there's no way I'm getting with a man.
Yeah, I think I'm at
So-
that stage now. I can probably come out again. Men disgust me.
Do you really think that you could be like, oh, I don't like men anymore?
Probably. I don't know where my head's at the moment. I'm kind of just, I can't really speak to anyone in general. I'm a lot more open on who I like, but I'm just, right now, like, there was, in the dev, there was someone that you were trying
Sorry.
to, like, no, it's fine. Like, that just, I just was like, oh, fuck, I don't know how to speak to them. Why are you
She
having
was
this
the same.
conversation? I was just, in my head, I just really can't be that vulnerable to someone again.
Fair
It's
enough.
really hard.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's
Sure.
understandable.
Yeah, I didn't mean to put you in that position.
No,
I'm just sorry.
it's funny, like, well,
Yeah.
after, like,
I was
5
just trying to get them to like, you know, come up to you instead of like the other way around because I was like, oh, she's single, like, you know.
Fucking hell, just
In
put
fact,
me
I think
out.
I did that one night in Halloween.
Mm.
There was a guy and like I kind of was like, oh, like single young guy. I was like pushing it towards him, and then he turned out he wasn't nice, so I was like trying to get and push him away.
Have you ever questioned like, I know you have a boyfriend,
Yeah.
but before that, were you ever like, oh, am I actually be gay?
I think so a wee bit, cause I have a boyfriend now. I was like, am I even bisexual? Like in my head, but it's gotten a wee bit stronger. Like year after year, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I am, and I'm allowed to.
But I think that's
Yeah.
kind of a normal thing too. If you're bi,
Yeah.
if you're with a guy, you start questioning,
You doubt it.
am I actually bi?
Yeah.
But then also, if you were with a girl, you'd probably be questioning
Oh,
the same
100%.
thing.
There you go.
And I think because it's kind of Ronan gets quite like confused by it, and like I love Ronan, he's so understanding about it, but it just confuses him a wee
He's
bit.
a great
Yeah.
guy. He's a really good guy.
I was just gonna ask you that because the relationships I was in before was like all guys,
Yeah.
and when I told them that I was bi, it's always no, you're not,
Yeah.
and I fucking hated that.
Watch
It was
this.
like, I don't think you are, and I was
Yeah.
like, who the
Yeah.
fuck do you think you
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
literally.
think with Ronan it was like kind of like, oh, so I have to worry about girls and boys
Yeah.
and stuff, and it was like, no, that's not what it's like.
'Cause you
Like,
shouldn't
I'm
be
not
worrying about
strapped
either.
up and everything.
are? Yeah,
like,
as soon as you come
yeah.
out, you're just ferally ready to fuck everything. That's what everyone
Get
thinks.
my vagina
Yeah,
ready.
you dive right in.
Yeah,
But people always think that about bi people. They're
Yeah.
like,
which
that
is
you're
greedy.
like,
Yeah.
you're just
Oh,
trying
I
to get
hate
with
that.
anyone.
That is the big thing my mom said to me. She was like, you're just greedy.
Yeah.
I'm like, how, Mom? I've just opened my dating
Yeah.
50%. I'm still a lonely cunt. I'm just sitting here getting drunk with you, for fuck's sake.
But like, I swear to God, I've heard that so many
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
times,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like, well, I'm still by myself, so how can you?
And then
That's
I
so
did
funny.
get a boyfriend after that, and then we all know how that turned out. And then now my mom's thinking, actually, maybe a girl's not too bad.
Yeah, literally. Literally. Did you ever question your sexuality whenever you're like, oh, I like girls, but maybe I like boys?
No, I think it was just more of a, oh, I need to like look like I like boys as well, you know, so it's a little bit normal and I'm not that weird, you know, being really gay, but yeah, no,
I was
I
the
don't think I
complete
ever
like.
did.
I was the opposite, which I've never had. I've never like talked to anyone that felt the opposite. I knew I liked girls,
Yeah.
so whenever I was with my first girlfriend, I was like fucking 14. So I was like, do I like boys? And that like, I talked to her about it, pissed her off so badly. But she was young as well. Like I don't blame her. But yeah, I was like, do I like boys? Maybe I do. And that like, I think there might be like a little bit of bi curiosity when it comes to boys in that, but then I like a look at like relationships that I've like seen with men, and like I've had girlfriend or friends that like are in relationships with men. Not you, by the way. He's wonderful. But I've had friends who have like relationships with men, and I'm like, ooh, never, like ever. Even like knowing straight men, I'm like, God, you're so emotionally immature.
Yeah.
Like Jesus.
It's so hard to fucking fancy, man.
It's such a
Yeah.
chore, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Literally. So I'm like, yeah, I was kind of the opposite, and I've always kind of been like, I've always known that I've liked women, but there's always been a curiosity with men. But then I get to know like one straight man, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah. That's really
definitely.
good.
That'll do me for a year. All good.
Do you think, and this kind of ties in with the Irish culture one, because religion's a big thing in Ireland. So did religion play a role in coming out, or was it like a no? Like I don't know how to say it. I suppose we just have those like Jesus freaks out. You know, when there's Pride, or I don't know what time of the year they come out, if they're out there like every
What
Sunday.
time of the year?
It's Pride Month, they are defrosting, but like that's probably a negative like religious fucking cult we have.
I had a weird relationship with it because I always believed in God, and I never liked the church. So it was very weird for me because I never liked what the church represented. I thought it was always culty. But I always believed in a higher power, and I always thought about religion and all that stuff, and I grew up like really Catholic and stuff, but my family would believe in God, especially my nan, and I always struggled with like my faith, because I was like, I do believe in a higher power, but what the church can stand for sometimes really sickens me. But I really don't think that people should feel like they have to separate or should have to conjoin their faith with their sexuality. I don't think that someone should not believe in God because they're queer. And I understand a lot of the ridicule whenever it comes to like being queer when you're like a part of a religion. I don't know, I just always believed in a God, and I still pray and I still believe in God, but I don't associate myself with any churches because I don't like what they stand for.
But that would be like the same as me. Like, I believe in God, and I pray all the time. And like, if I have some, like, I had to fucking drive to Derrylin the other week, and I was like praying in the car, like, Jesus, please keep me safe and stuff. Like, so I do believe in God and everything, but then I think a lot of religion is taken and it's twisted, and it's like people are using their own opinion and twisting stuff to push their opinion. But I'm like, there's so many different religions on the planet. There's so many different ones, and it's like, what's to say one is better than the other? What's to say one is right, one is wrong? I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. But at the end of the day, like, I believe in a higher power. I believe in God and stuff like that. But I don't believe in religion as like the differences of, especially in Northern Ireland, like Catholic, Protestant is like a major example of it. So I'm like, I can pray, I can talk to God directly, I can ask for his guidance and stuff, but I don't need to fall into like a bracket of anything.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, as you say, like, people use it to kind of push their agenda, and I think a good Christian is against that. Like, and it's love thy neighbour, love everyone, and I think if you are just being a Christian, reading the Bible, to find hatred from it, you're not a Christian.
Because it's meant to be good morals. It's meant to be like, look out for each other. Because like, if you look into the Bible, like Jesus, he would have like hung around with people that had leprosy and like the beggars, prostitutes, everything, and he would have treated them the exact same way he would have treated anyone else. And I think people really overlook that side of it, and they use it like just to push their agenda.
They misinterpret it completely.
Did you have any access to LGBTQ plus support networks, groups, or services?
I did. There was a what was it called? It was the Fine Centre, actually. There was a little gay group. I can't find what it was called for the life of me, but we just called it the gay group, and whenever I was younger we would all go there, and it was full of like young people that were queer as well in a small town, and we just kind of went there and we had like meetings every week. It wasn't really a very serious thing. It was literally just like meeting up with other queer people and like having a community, and I met a lot of friends there. Regretfully now. Met a lot of friends there. I met a lot of friends there. And, yeah, it was like nice to have like a community at that time.
I did not, because I thought that was gay.
Exactly, yeah. I got roped into it, to be fair. I was promised.
Promised what, Leah?
Yeah, what were you promised?
That's
interesting.
I was promised lesbians. So.
Lesbians and custard creams.
Sure, we were in a relationship.
My favourite.
I'm so sure we're in a relationship at this point.
We weren't. It was just before.
I remember coming to the group with you.
Oh yeah, but that was after. We were speaking,
Right,
definitely.
okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know in Morecambe actually if we did. There might have been, but I never really. I wouldn't have been open to go into stuff like that. I would have been very timid and, you know, like, no, thanks, but I'd say.
It was a friend of mine that, like, was like, come then. And she went, so I was like, oh, okay.
Join us in the dark side.
Join us.
But it's slowly become a thing because like Fermanagh Pride wasn't a thing until last September.
Literally.
So that's crazy.
At our first
Huge
Pride.
too.
That was so
It was
good.
so fucking busy.
Yeah.
I got overwhelmed. I was like, Leah, can you come down here?
Oh.
It was so busy. And it was such a hot day too.
Oh,
It was the
yeah.
legal day for it. And I was so chuffed with the turnout.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah.
But before they had it, I heard two of the ones that were organising it, they were talking about it. And there's a woman in town that holds a sign,
Yes.
like saying against
Yeah.
like Fermanagh Pride
He's right.
and gays are wrongs and stuff. But the ones that organised it made her own little spot to hold her sign.
Jesus.
Like everyone in the town knows her. She's always like
Did you
standing.
use the spot?
Of course.
But they included her in it. So she could hold her little sign
That's
saying
well
like
smart.
being gay is wrong.
That's so cute.
It's very smart though. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, you're
Inclusivity and-
killing them with kindness.
Yes,
It's
literally.
like we're actually going to let you be part of our
Yeah.
big day.
Yeah.
You come and
And
have a
she
look.
went. She was like,
Yeah.
She thought she was doing
She
something.
was probably
Yeah.
so chuffed to hold
Oh,
it.
she thought she fucking ate with that
probably
sign.
thought that was like an art piece, and they were like,
Literally.
"Oh wow!"
Taking it back a few years.
But
Like,
those
I don't
kinda-
think it would have been the same if she wasn't there because
Yeah.
she's such an iconic
Icon.
part
Yeah,
of it.
she just had to be there.
I feel really sorry for her, and I don't know why. I shouldn't like.
Yeah, no, I do.
The
I always
thought,
feel
like, 'cause
sorry
she's
for
a
them.
wee old woman, and the thought of her drawing this little sign out just like breaks my heart. I'm like,
Yeah.
you do
I
you,
couldn't
girl.
give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's-
I nearly spat her one.
Oh, me and Amber, whenever we walk past her, we hold
We
hands.
hold hands
like,
instantly,
yeah.
yeah.
But like,
I'd be in the corner.
Yeah.
Anytime I walk past her and I'm with a girl, I'm like, hold my hand right now. And I like try like puff my chest out and like look more
Queer.
masculine and
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm like,
look
I'm
more
just gonna-
masculine.
I'm just gonna-
For reference, Leah is 6'5", covered in tattoos, and usually has dreads, green hair. Like, couldn't look more queer. She
or a
tried.
backwards hat on.
Yeah,
There you
literally. Fit.
I've been misgendered so many times.
Oh,
Because I always
same.
wear like really baggy clothes, like baggy
Oh, yeah.
hoodies, like baggy trousers. If I don't have my dreads, then I'll have a backwards hat on and like
Aye.
maybe my hair in plaits. And there's like so many times where I like go up to a shop or something and the person will like say sir to me and then I look up and they see my face, which
Oh
is
my
not masculine. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Sorry about that.
Double D's also.
Only wears
Massive
a
bit.
sports bra.
Yeah. What a waste. A waste of buds.
And like strap them babies in.
When was your last time coming out? When did you last come out? It's always an ongoing process. It's never just once. It's always like you always come out at some point, you know.
Yeah, just at
Always.
work, really.
Yeah.
I think, you know.
Siblings.
Yeah.
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 Like just kind of like casually dropping it and nothing said, but
Mm.
just to get it out there.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
It would have been like a month ago for me for my brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think it's an everyday thing. I like, was it the other day that I worked with that new cutty and I was like, oh yeah, my girlfriend.
oh yeah, I suppose when I started in my new job,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have mentioned it to the likes of
Co-workers. Just.
co-workers. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that recent. But that's the ones that mean nothing to me.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
I'll just
literally.
say it. Like your opinion means fuck all to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the last one that really mattered was my brother. So.
Mm.
But then,
Yeah.
See, I always feel like I just have to come out more as saying I like men as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's always the shocker for me.
Yeah. Literally. It's always the weird one.
I walk around like puffing my shoulder.
Come out to me.
Yeah. I think
Oh
so.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My little
definitely.
brother.
Yeah.
You Sheldon. Yeah.
Yeah, my wee brother came out to me too.
Mm.
He's the first they told.
I
Yeah,
think
but no
so.
one was shocked.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. My brother was 4 years old dancing around to Lady Gaga. Like knew every single beat, everything. Like he'd be stood in the middle of the friggin' street,
The
just
walls
doing
of
it.
his.
Every single person knew, and I think my dad, bless him, was just a bit like, "Oh come on, it's my only son, like you know, like please don't let it be true." And then it was true. Dang it.
Literally.
My wee brother came out to me as bi, and I think my like he was getting all like serious about it and stuff, and my reaction was, "Been calling you gay for years. Like, why do you think this
Yeah,
is
you
a
definitely
surprise?"
No, it's to me. It's your fault.
Actually, probably all my fault.
I'm not telling you. I'm blaming you.
That's so weird thinking about like people that have came out to me. I don't think like my first girlfriend ever came out to me. I don't think she ever like told me that she was gay. We just kind of kissed and was like, oh.
Let you figure that one out.
Yeah.
What does this mean?
What does this mean? That's so funny.
She's trying to tell me something.
Literally was in her bedroom and as she kissed me and I was like, what does this mean? Is she like me? Is she just experimenting?
What do you think about the Jojo Siwa and friggin'
Oh
Chris
my
Rock
god, it
Hughes
is
thing?
dominating my Snapchat.
It's everywhere, like. But I feel like this is like the third lesbian to get a boyfriend, and everyone's just like Pride's cancelled. Everyone's just like June's over.
Bro,
That's
Pride
it.
is cancelled.
I think that Chris one's loving it. He was like,
Oh.
I
Yeah.
chose the right one to befriend in this house.
Yeah.
And now we're getting too friendly. Everyone's speculating that we're together. Should we just like get together?
Yeah.
It's a whole publicity stunt on his end. I have a feeling she's just like smitten. Like
Yeah.
this guy actually really likes me. And
Absolutely.
It's gonna crash and burn.
Because
Yeah.
he's 32,
He's
by the way.
32, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what a lot of people are saying though? They think that he's actually gay, and this
Yes.
is his only way of
Yeah.
like kind of getting a masculine girl. You know, it all kind of makes sense, really.
But I think also like Jojo, from the way that she's went through girlfriends and stuff,
Oh,
and like she'll be completely, wholeheartedly, fully
Yeah.
in love. But obviously, like that lasts for a wee bit, and then he kind of
Yeah.
simmers off. So then she seems to like break up with the person, but she's jumping straight to another
Yeah, it's
person.
like, calm the fuck
So
down.
she
was
You're
away
not
from
a
her-
race doll.
She was away from her girlfriend that she literally was saying she wanted to get engaged to
Yeah.
and married. But then she was
Says
away
that about
from her,
everyone.
and someone else gave her attention. So now it's confused her head because she's like, oh my god, I'm getting attention from somebody else. I'm like into feeling, but I think it's all just, it's probably from
And
like
everyone's
growing up
loving
on TV
Yeah.
and doing like the dance mom stuff and like having to get attention and having to fight for attention and having to perform well to get
Oh,
her
yeah.
mom's
And she
attention.
was at like equal playing ground within this house. So she was
Yeah.
like, how do I get like the most attention?
So I think it's just like anyone that's like fulfilling that need for her, she's like latching on to them. But
Yeah.
Bro, I seen a snap of them today and it was like a picture of their legs and she was wearing basketball shorts and chains and he was in like trackies and I was like, come on, lad.
Yeah.
Your little lesbian girlfriend.
Like literally, your bird wears basketball shorts to cuddle. Like, come on. Jesus Christ.
I wonder who wears the pants in
every
that relationship.
bisexual
Oh,
ever.
she defo pegs him. I don't care what he
Should
says.
put a bet on how long it lasts.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because like most of our relationships are like what 3 to 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say they won't make it the year. I don't think.
How long are
No.
they together now?
It's been like 2-3 weeks. I can't
yeah,
mind.
but
Oh,
they
so
only
it's
got out of
few
the house a
weeks.
few weeks ago.
It
Like,
does. Yeah,
My
I know what
days
you
are off,
mean.
to be fair.
When did
Yeah.
Big Brother end?
I'd say it was about a month ago, max.
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm saying
because she's been home and come back over here and everything. Like,
I'm saying
And now she's
6
doing
months.
tour in England.
6 months.
Long time.
I think that's too
I'd
long
say
for
for
Jojo.
less.
But I think she'll push it out of spite. So I think even if they hate each other, the whole world's against them. So I think she'll push it out of
No,
spite.
I think some girl will come up to her and give her attention whenever it starts to fizzle out with them after, like, because you have the honeymoon, like, period, but then it kind of
Yeah.
fizzles out. So I think she'll have someone come up to her, give her all the attention in the world. She'll get those, like, fanny flutters. And she'll be like, I actually hate men.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I
I
was-
think it'll all come out then. She'll be like, oh, he was disgusting, a grown ass man.
Yeah.
And then she'll
Took
say,
advantage.
she'll
Yeah.
twist it that, like, he took advantage of her
Yeah.
and everything.
maybe,
Probably.
maybe. Be weird.
It'd be great promo for a new album though.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Tell
gonna
it,
say.
yeah.
Because like he'll probably cheat.
My boyfriend's a bitch.
Should
have known better.
I have a feeling he'll probably like cheat on her, and then it'll be like a whole sympathy story for
Yeah,
her.
literally.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor
He's
me,
gonna get with
man,
someone like
yeah.
Sarah Larson or something.
She'll pull a Taylor Swift and write a breakup.
She'll pull a Taylor Swift. I
Literally.
never liked her until she started taking the piss out of herself, and I thought that was really funny. And then she went in Big Brother, and I kind of fancied her a bit.
I kind of fancied her in
Kinda
the Big
fancied
Brother
her a bit.
house.
I didn't like her whenever she was glammed, but whenever she was just dressing as like a masked
Yes.
lesbian, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I kind of like the energy she brings to the table.
Too much.
But I like that.
No, I like that. Yeah,
See,
it's
I
funny.
thought like when she was quite like sensible on the Big Brother
Mm.
house.
Yeah, very calm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I
was
like,
doable.
oh
Yeah.
wow, I could
Yeah.
do the whole like energy.
And then the second she came out and did the interview, she was like, boom, the energy
Yeah.
came back
Yeah.
again, and you're like, fucking hell, calm
Yeah.
down. Like, yeah, absolutely.
But I feel like that's me at work. She gets it. She sees me
She's
sing.
like dead all the time.
Doing my Christmas song mashups.
Hate that.
I'm gonna be in the TNF in 2 months because Leah's little songs. It's mad.
Even
Give us
yesterday,
one later.
you said you hate seeing people eat near the
Oh, I
sinks.
nearly fought her yesterday. Honest to
Oh.
God. So
She's
I hate seeing people eat near dirty sinks. It's just a thing that I have. I hate leftover
Eat
food.
near dirty sinks.
Like dirty dishwater. I hate people eating like near leftover food. I just have a thing about food. It's weird, right?
Right.
And she knows this full well. And she came over to me yesterday, and she had a sausage in her hand. Slag. And she bent over the sink and she bit the sausage, and I threw my sponge in my dish. And
I went like right
to
up
hit her,
in her. I was like,
and I went to like hit her, and she like ran away. And I was like, "You're a dirty little bastard." Honest to God.
in between all of my shenanigans, you can get singing. I really like to sing at work.
Oh.
Yes.
Christmas songs especially.
That stressed me
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, it stresses me out loads.
Or the Small Town Girl song.
What's that?
You know,
Uptown
Brit-
Girl?
No, the Britain's
Small
Got
town
Talent.
girl,
Just a
living
small
in
town
a
girl,
lonely world.
living in a lovely...
Glee.
That gives me PTSD. We done that for pantomime in school, but I
Oh
was a
no,
dancer.
you did not.
Oh yes, she did.
But it was like at the end, everyone came out and sang the song, so, like the same song as the choir. So they done Don't Stop Believing. I didn't know like any of the words, but they stopped it going Don't Stop, and that was the end of the song. My dumbass always believe. Oh, it's so bad. That's only because of it.
shit.
Oh yeah, who were you most surprised when they told you they were gay? Just out of anyone who's ever like revealed it to you.
Out of like, to be honest, whenever I first met you, I thought, oh, she's bi.
Yeah.
But I was really surprised whenever you told me, because I
Oh.
didn't think that you would actually like know it yourself.
Yeah.
I didn't think that you would be like very aware.
Yeah.
But it really surprised me. I didn't think you would have any like experience, or like I thought it was just gonna be one of those things where you were like taking a while to like realize it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you for me. What about you? Anyone for you?
For me, Michael, my friend
Yeah.
from England, he was a big shock because he came from like a traveller background. He his little brother was very flamboyant, and he always was like, "You're so gay," but he would like be so angry about it, you know. So I should have known. I really should have known, but he
I
was
remember
just
you used his Netflix and you watched something like gay.
yeah.
on his
I
Netflix.
was like that blue. What
Blue was the
it?
warmest colour.
Yeah, something like
Oh,
that. I think I
good
went to
movie.
start watching that or something, and I was using his Netflix. And the next day, he was like, "I can't believe you fucking watched that show on my Netflix. What? My family used that account as well. What are they gonna think and all the rest of it?" And I was like, "Sorry, like I didn't realize." And then, yeah, he was like, "Come, will you come meet me?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, yeah." I went
You
for
came home from meeting me.
yeah, I think
He
yeah.
was like, I've got something to cheer you up.
Oh yeah, he's right. And he was like, "Come on, come meet me." So I went to go meet him, and he was like, "Yeah." So I don't know how to say this, but he was like, "I'm gay," and I was like, "What?" And it was like the whole switch around, you know, because
Yeah.
obviously he was like, "What? You're gay?" to me, and then he told me, and I was like, "No, you're not." And he was like, "Yeah, I am," and I was like, "No way," because he was also kind of a bit like chavvy, you know, growing up, like he'd always wear the tracksuits, all the rest of it. He genuinely like any sort of gays, and he'd be like, "Ew," like get so
Nah.
angry and mad about
Whenever-
them. But
I think that's like deflection.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
oh yeah,
me,
100%. Like
Whenever I
100.
first met Michael, like one of the first times I met Michael, I think it was the first time, he was in his bed, and then he got up, all of a sudden he stood up and like started plucking his eyebrows in the mirror.
Yeah,
And I was like,
he used to have
one
a
of us, one of us.
he used to have a better skincare routine than me, and I
Literally.
never
Literally.
thought, not once
Such a
did I
pretty
think,
Have a
like,
skincare routine.
honestly, literally, and he'd be there like doing himself up, and I'd be like,
And I
okay.
was so like homophobic. I was like, oh.
He was so homophobic, like it was a bit brutal. And then he was actually saying to me last time I was in England, he was like, "Yeah, well, it was whenever you came out." He was like, "Oh, okay." And then he was like, he just obviously had never known anyone to come out, so he questioned if he was like okay to come out, kind of thing. And then after a wee while, he was just like, "Yeah, I think I am actually as well." And yeah, you hear these stories about the other boys he's had shindigs with, and you're just like, holy moly. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but you two kissed too.
Oh yeah, when we were drunk. When we were drunk fucking
I was
ages
loaded.
ago, yeah. You're just jealous.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you've kissed him as well.
Oh, I've kissed him loads.
Yeah.
Good kisser.
But yeah, he was a big shock. He was a
Where's
very
my
big
kiss?
shock for me when he came out.
Girls, god damn, these two are like the ref and Leah are behind the camera. Though. It's really crazy.
Can't help it.
Anyone shock to you, Billy?
It would have been like when I moved back over here from the Isle of Man, like all of my friends from the Isle of Man, they would have been like growing up without me knowing.
Yeah.
And then I just see like, say a friend that was in my friend group would have gotten with someone the same sex, and I was like, oh no way.
Oh.
So, yeah. It was mad that like most of the queer ones I was hanging out with, you know,
Yeah.
before we all like came out, it was like we're all like interlinked somehow.
Do you feel like people
Cosmic.
that are like queer usually migrate towards each other?
That's it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Same with
100%,
autism.
like
Yeah, literally.
like our whole friendship group in school.
Oh, I think the
And
two are
stuff.
like kind of integrated because I feel like we're all a wee bit autistic in some way.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not.
But,
Do you love the spectrum?
Oh.
Hate to break it to you.
we play jump rope with that spectrum. Yeah, we're
Don't
skipping
see
it
my
down.
rock.
Say my rock.
So comfortable though with yous. Like the friend group I had before.
Yeah,
no
literally.
odds to them, but it was so chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the straight people are chaotic as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh,
everyone was
yeah.
fucking each other in that group, and it was too much.
I think that's just friendship groups then, because my friendship group were all gay and they were all doing the same. Like
Yeah.
everyone was just going with each other. I wasn't actually in that because I was like, you weirdo, you gays are weird, man.
Yeah,
Just
to be
like,
fair,
fuck
I
that.
feel like we have a really good group, and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're all just like completely understanding of each other, and
Yeah.
like there's nothing
It's very little judgment.
outrageous.
Mhm.
You know, like
Very little.
obviously if you do something like mental, then it's like fair, but like we're very on the same page
Yeah.
about everything.
I feel like we're a good group because I don't feel like we enable each other that much, but I feel like if we do something insane, we can tell each other.
Mhm.
But I feel like if we do something for
Yeah,
the plot, but then, you know, we're
I
like,
feel like
yeah.
no one's afraid to say anything.
Yeah.
It's also confidence too. Like whether like we're stopping each other doing from stuff, we also like boost each other.
Yeah,
doing
definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Defo.
Because I
Yeah.
did, I
Absolutely.
said this kind of drunkenly the other night too, and to my dad too. I was like, this is a friendship group I wish I had when I
Yeah,
was
same.
like 16,
Yeah.
17, when I needed that
Yeah.
confidence.
Yeah, fair
you know?
enough.
Yeah.
I needed people who thought like me and stuff,
Mhm.
like, yeah.
But then also I
Yeah.
feel like the universe works
Yes.
in its ways
That's
and
exactly
stuff,
what I was
and like
thinking.
maybe if we met each other earlier, we wouldn't have been ready to meet each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
defo.
absolutely.
You know, and
I
then we
don't
might have
know.
had falling outs
did.
that we.
We'll-
Yeah, actually.
We knew each other. We
Yeah.
sat around the park.
We all would have shagged each other and that would have been
My
that.
dad.
Yeah, we would have made those mistakes.
You went to the same school?
Yeah, me and you went to the same school actually, yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
Billy, I feel like I knew you.
Aye, but you're like, what?
Maybe because you went to the same school as my brothers.
Yeah, I knew
So
that.
maybe.
You're just a nosy bastard, that's what
Yeah.
that's
You
know what
lived in my wall for years.
Just scratching.
That's what the attic is. That's why the scratching up there.
We actually were in each other's past lives.
Is the wee evil monkey
Yeah.
in the closet? You're gay!
Fuck!
In the past lives, we were all men, and the ref was a woman.
There you
literally,
go.
literally.
There you
I do
go.
feel like having this type of friendship group in our 20s is very beneficial.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's very weird being in your 20s and trying to figure out what you should be doing. And we're all kind of like different ages and spectrums of our 20s. And I feel like seeing each of you in different stages of your 20s makes me feel okay about where I am in my 20s. And it's a very like freeing feeling knowing that I can be very honest with this group of people that are very open and free with me.
But I feel like this is probably, out of all the groups of friends I've had in my life, I feel like this is the best group
Oh, 100%.
that I've had, because it's like part of it probably is to do with maturity as well.
Yeah.
So like obviously teenager years and stuff, like you're immature, you're gonna do stupid shit,
Yeah,
and
definitely,
your
definitely.
hormones and emotions are heightened. But I feel like this group, it's like there's no one in the group I don't feel comfortable talking to, and
Yeah.
there's no one in the group that
I feel judged by.
I feel judged by, or that like if I said something to them, they'll be like to me, if I need a fucking slap across the back of my head, they're going to give me the slap across the back of my head.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be done with care.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's a loving thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
It's
like
not the best,
people
yeah.
aren't going to
Yeah.
sit there and listen to me be a dickhead and not tell me about it. But you need to hear that
We're
too.
gonna be like, you're being stupid.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
being a dumb fuck.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're still going to be stood behind me
You're
afterwards.
dumb fuck.
Yeah, you are. You're arse legs. Yeah,
But I've never
definitely.
felt like as content in a
Same.
group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I think it's
Yeah.
very important to have that kind of group in your 20s.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so important. It's not even beneficial. It's so
It's
fucking
important.
Yeah,
It's so
Because
important.
especially like in your 20s, everyone's at completely different stages.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're in the same age group, but all the age groups you have before, you're kind of going along the same pace.
Yeah.
You're doing pretty much the same stuff. But
Yeah.
once you get to your 20s, it's like
Yeah.
it's like
literally.
chaotic,
It is
and
chaotic.
everyone's in completely different directions.
Yeah.
But it's like it's comforting to see the different directions and to know whichever one you're
Yeah.
going
It's
is okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Definitely.
It's like you're taking it at your pace. You're doing it as you should be doing it, and you
Yeah.
have people that support you.
I feel like that's why we're doing this podcast as well, to also like document our 20s together.
Yeah.
Do you know? The last and the medium and the beginning of our 20s together. I feel like it's really important and really fun for us to like look back and like see these things. Yeah, it's really fun. It's really important to like look back on these times and like be
Yeah.
appreciative of what you had and what you do,
Yeah.
how you grow as a person.
And even to show how confusing it is, like,
Yeah, mad.
and how you can get so lost, but
Mm.
it'll all work out in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you feel you are more confused now than as you were in your teens, or do you feel like
Definitely
it's
Well, I'm not gonna say I've got
Um,
everything sort of like figured
Yeah.
out,
Oh,
but
no,
like
I don't.
big difference from when I was younger. Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah,
Do you
I
feel like it-
actually saw something the other day, and it was like being in your 20s. You're like, oh wait, how do I say this? You're like a child again, basically. You're like
Yeah.
you're 21.
'Cause
You're
kinda
you're
pushed
like
out.
basically a 1-year-old adult. So you're fucking
Yeah,
you're
I
experiencing
seen the post
everything
like that,
new.
and I was
Like
I
yeah,
never thought of it like
literally.
So
So we're all
cool.
just kind of going through it.
I feel like being Irish has a big role to play in that as well, because like most of our parents were young parents, or they were, you know, married and had kids by the time they were our age. And I feel like even just being queer and being young, they're like, they freak out a bit because they're like, what are you gonna do? Because either you can't get married, you can't have kids so easily. So they freak out a lot about like your journey in life and like what you're going to do and like who you're going to be, because their path was so different.
Yeah.
But then
Um,
also, if you're married and have kids, you need to have a good career for these kids. But it's like I can't do the two at the same time.
But nowadays, yes, but back when they were younger, no. Like they could support a
But even
family.
still,
I was gonna
it's
say
like
that, like, money is so different.
Yeah.
Like, I was chatting to mum about like rent and how £600 is cheap
Yeah.
Oh,
around
yeah.
here, and that blew her mind that rent wasn't like £100 anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you need to understand.
Yeah.
It's so fucking different now.
But it's even like my house. My house $450, but everyone like there's issues with it obviously. But
Yeah.
everyone's always like, oh, why don't you move? Why don't you go somewhere else?
Yeah.
But it's like if I went somewhere else, I'd be paying £600 for the exact same situation, just a different location.
Yeah.
It's like the older generation too. They'll be like, oh, well, we bought a house whenever and stuff, but like
Yeah, for your
but
for
they're
a
like-
peanut on your
it
first
costs
board.
Scotch
But they're like
Jesus Christ.
For a good Irish fry and a
Yeah.
fucking, you know.
but they're like we didn't go on holidays.
Even as
hard.
well, when they're like, just don't go on holiday, just stop going to the pub, and it's like, I could be dead tomorrow.
Don't
Like,
have a
I
life
don't
then,
want-
yeah.
I don't want to live
Literally.
a life that's just saving penny.
Yeah.
To buy a house that I
Yeah.
can't afford.
To
It
buy a
literally-
house
Yeah.
when then the mortgage can be reevaluated afterwards.
Yeah.
Because like two of my friends, they bought a house, and originally, like this is only a few years ago. Originally, their mortgage I think was like 450, 500.
Yeah.
Mortgage now, 1,000. House has not changed. The house has
Yeah.
not moved. There
Literally.
hasn't been extensions, nothing, anything to it.
Yeah.
But their mortgage is basically doubled.
Literally. It's insane.
Yeah.
Very important to have friends in your 20s. And it's very important to recognise that it is harder to be trying to build a life now than it was way back then. And it's good to have friends around you and people around you that also agree, because the older generation are very frugal in terms of like the way that we live, but the older generation also went out Thursday through to Sunday and had a good time and lived with their parents until they were 19, then moved out and then got a mortgage for 25p a month when they were 35. You know, it's very different now than it was back then. I feel like it's very important, even in terms of like being queer. Like we have an older friend that's very like, why do you have to like be such a big thing, or why do you have to like present yourself in such a way? And it's because we never had the representation, and because we don't know it's okay until someone else says it's okay.
Yeah.
Do you know? And yeah, it's just very important to have like friends like that in your 20s.
I think
And
even it's a distraction too.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
when all this stuff gets to you, like savings and money and mortgage and shit, to have other people that are like, oh,
I'm fucked too, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go out for mine.
Literally. You're like, oh, I'm fucked too, babe, but let's have a drink anyway. Let's go camping or something, you know.
And
Yeah.
even like relationships, like I've had a total of relationships in the past, and I've just like dived myself into friends, and I've never felt better. So
Yeah,
it's important to have.
That's even
so
like
important
me
to have.
was like not same level as you,
Yeah.
but like my last relationship obviously was shit.
Yeah.
Not same level, but afterwards I'm like I'm so much happier.
Yeah.
Being around my friends.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm so much happy. Like
Yeah.
I am completely
I'd rather see my
content.
friends like my relationships. Like I'd
Oh,
rather
yeah.
be
Same,
friends
yeah,
and
me too.
swim.
Me and the
Yeah.
ref going for a date every week.
Yeah.
In fact, even as like I am in a very good relationship, I think it's so important that it's like I have my friends.
Yeah.
And that.
I said to one of my friends, I was like, if you're in a relationship, I was like, you should have, like, obviously you and them, and then mutual friends, but each person should have their own friend group,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it should be
100%.
completely okay for like each
Yeah.
person to spend time with their
Oh, yeah.
own friend group,
Absolutely.
and then their friends they have together. And I was like, I
Well,
feel
me
like
and Amber are a
that's
I was
little
gonna
bit
say,
involved
we're
with
a
that
fuck there,
because
but-
we share the friend group a lot of the time.
So that was like the end of like all our questions.
Yeah.
And we
I got
that
very
was-
off topic.
they were all kind of like opinion based, kind of. Would you say?
Yeah.
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 And then so we went to an actual like organization,
We did.
youth club,
Yeah.
the Fine Centre,
Mhm.
to ask loads of questions on like if there's any help for people to come out, whatnot.
So if you're struggling with any topics that were brought up on the podcast, the Fine Centre is a really good resource in Fermanagh that offers really good services. The Fine Centre is a support service for young people aged 11 to 25 in Fermanagh. It provides a safe space. It offers workshops on topics such as drug and alcohol awareness, healthy relationships, online safety, as well as it's like a chill out area with instruments and games and computers that you can like, you know, go and chill out and like hang with your friends or whatever. The staff are available for one-on-one chats. And they can guide you to the right support even if you're coming out or facing challenges. While they're not therapists, they're always there for a chat. For older generations above 25 plus or anyone that may need, they can connect you with the right services such as the Rainbow Project, Cara-Friend or Fermanagh Pride, or First Housing if you're struggling with homelessness. Despite the challenges of working in a rural area and the stigma that comes with that, they can work with you. The centre continues to run a workshop in schools and support services for LGBTQ and youth community. The other services like Cara-Friend have been serving and empowering LGBTQ plus community in Northern Ireland since 1974. They can provide people with information regarding LGBTQ areas and topics like inclusive businesses, youth services, trans-specific youth community services, advocacy, campaigning, policy and volunteering, family support, awarenesses, training, inclusive schools, education services, LGBTQIA+, switchboards and helplines, community development services, mental health and wellbeing projects. The Rainbow Project, as well, has been going since 1994 and tries to make Northern Ireland a better place for LGBTQ youth and their families, tackling discrimination through their training, campaigning and policy work, and further work towards legal and overall equality for LGBTQ community. We'll leave links and contact information in the bio.
So that is like our local youth club that can help.
Yeah.
And obviously when we asked questions for like older generations, say like 25 plus, they said they'd like send you or refer you to the Cara-Friend and Fermanagh Pride. And Fermanagh Pride were ones that I really wanted to speak to, but we didn't really get a chance to because they had like committee meetings and
We will in the future ask Fermanagh Pride and like all those ones, and yeah, I have a cousin as well that is really involved with Fermanagh Pride called Molly, and she will also be really available for like interviews and like help and stuff. And
that'd be cool. Get in contact with her. So that is the end of episode 1.
Yeah.
coming
yeah,
out.
that was our first time coming out to ourselves, coming out to family members, and the next episode will be what it's like dating in a small town, what it's like dating, like finding girls, like what girls are like, how girls are like gonna come out to us, how we flirt with girls in a small town. Our first time, you know, embarrassing ourselves in a night out, trying to get a one night stand, and you know, trying to flirt with girls, and generally dating in a small town as queer people.
Can't wait.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah, and I might talk about an odd film the odd time because that's
Yeah.
the only thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can contribute. You know, talk
Yeah.
about films. And
Listen,
TV shows.
listen.
Switch it up. We
we're-
don't want to always hear about.
Listen, we're all
queers.
geeks, so we're all going to talk about films. I'm going to talk about games. Amber's probably going to talk about Lego. Judith probably has politics under her sleeve. The ref probably has some kind of historian shit to share with us.
He needs
Loves
to
a
do his
good
homework.
graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leah probably has some like kind of drug
Conspiracy.
advice or conspiracy to deal with. But yeah, we're all in our 20s, we're all experiencing queer life, and we're all together, and that's what's important. So
Yeah.
Go sports! Go sports! Go team!
You're gay.